welcome to Honest Car Reviews. My name is Eric and this is the Jaguar F-Pace Plug-in Hybrid. And after a facelift, the F-Pace also received the hybrid treatment. An important one for Jaguar since they offer a lot of performance models and not that much electrification. The I-Pace is of course the pure EV model, but then there are some hybrid options including this F-Pace. 404 horsepower, 640 Newton meters. Petrol engine is a 2-liter 4-cylinder. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is done in just over 5 seconds. And a pure EV range of 53 kilometers. With a start price of 95,000 euros, is definitely one of the more expensive ones in this size, being a mid-size SUV plug-in hybrid. So you have the Volvo XC60, the BMW X5, the Audi Q5, and so on and so forth. So the question is, of course, is this a premium SUV plug-in hybrid that you should consider? And we'll of course start with the exterior, and I like Jaguar styling. Sophisticated, British, but also a hint of sportiness, even in this aerodynamic package. The front is a bit thinner, and especially I like these front lights that give it a nice contrast to the rest of the car, which is quite thick. I like this extra option blue paint, the bigger rims, which are really big to fill up. I mean, SUVs always have huge wheel gaps, so you need to fill them out. But in the rear is more contemporary, but as in the F-Type, the sport car from Jaguar, you have these wavy rear lights, which really look really nice. All in all, with this chrome accent, that more muscular front, especially that bonnet, these air intakes in front, exterior is one part of the F-Pace that I can stand behind. A nice Jaguar logo, and I love the buttons you actually had to press for a bit, but you can obviously see in the rear luggage where the batteries are. They take up a fair amount of space, and actually being able to fit regular, if you go to shopping or buy groceries, standard grocery bags will maybe have a hard time fitting here if they fill to the max. The battery is just over 15 kilowatt hour, and you can charge the whole battery up in just about 1 hour 40 minutes. So you can charge up to 7 kilowatts. So that's quite impressive, and you can even charge up to, with fast charging, over 30, just under 40 kilowatts. Being able to charge this when you buy groceries, if you're shopping, if you need to do your daily tasks and you have a fast charger, you will be able to charge this up in 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and that is a solution that I can get behind. This is one of the worst luggage spaces in its class, I think. Really takes up a lot of space. It reminds me of the Mercedes Estate hybrid, had a huge lump. This is not as extreme with the hump, but this just eats up space. Exterior, just smart but contemporary, flowing, some aggressive lines, perfect blend, I think. In this spec, with the extra paint, the extra rims, panoramic sunroof, ventilated seats, and a bit more extras, about or above 100,000 euros. Yeah, for a mid-size SUV. There's not a performance SUV. While 404 horsepower is a lot, it's heavy, above 2.1 tons. That is a lot. In the rear, the front seat is quite aggressively positioned, so I can move the seat a bit more forward, but it's evident that this design of having this plastic here being the most protruding part was not the smartest move. Maybe we should have put it more to the sides, because this is where most people will have their knees, I guess. and that's where this plastic is. Fair amount of lower thigh support, okay amount of foot space. I love this ventilated seat with some off-white stitching. Maybe this roundish design is not particularly to my liking, especially compared to the front. I think the front is more sharp, especially with the design. Sharp, flowy, okay amount of rear space. I mean, it is a mid-sized SUV after all. The panoramic sunroof doesn't go that far to the sides, which I was surprised about. It should go above here. But it does bring a nice ambiance to the interior, or at least give some extra light to the interior. Lovely metal finishes. You're met with not only the R logo, but this amazing Jaguar steering wheel. It is quite large, but perfectly sized, so your hands fit really nicely. I like this quite unique gear selector. It is simple. You have a button behind this thingy-majiggy, and into drive, sport, drive, park with a separate button. I really like that I have a separate button to go into park. EV is, of course, you have hybrid mode, pure EV, and save. So if you have 50% battery, you press EV save, it will keep 50% battery. Of course, the petrol engine will kick in and use more fuel. Control for the climate, simple twist to increase and lower the temperature. To sync, to have the same temperature on the left and the right, you have this in the middle. If you want some heated seats, you push it so you can have heated. But if you pull it, you can also change the fan speed. I love that they have a lot of metal in this interior. I really do. It elevates the driving experience, the feel, the quality, and everything. And let's touch a bit. Yeah, it feels solid. It does feel solid. Main menu, can change it, so navigation, phone, and source. So if I connect the phone, it's really quick at connecting with your phone, which I like. Camera, so I have 3D. Nice feature, really nice when they need to park, or if you for some reason go off-road with these huge rims. EV information, if you're charging, you get some information there, where the energy is going, how much range I have, which mode it's in. It does have some off-road credentials, not the same as in a Land Rover, of course, but all in all, a really nice interior. What I is a bit unsure of is maybe they could just made some metal here. All in all, the Meridian sound system does not sound the same as in Land Rovers or Range Rovers. This is more sharp, the bass is not as soft. We are on the infamous Stockholm Ringleden. It has bumps, undulations, it has traffic, it has on-ramps and off-ramps. It's a good test for both the electrical driving aids, the suspension, and because it's quite hilly and there is a bit slower and faster traffic, really see how the consumption is. It's definitely towards the stiffer side. It feels like the chassis in itself is a bit stiffer compared to, for example, Land Rover products or Range Rover products for that matter. The Jaguar is definitely more stiffer or performance oriented. The steering in general is quite dead, but that is, I mean, it's a mid-size SUV and it's still not a sporty product per se, so I'll not give it some flack for that. But good to note, you do have driving modes which you can switch between through this button, a real button which can go up and down, really handy. So we have dynamic, comfort, eco, and some adaptive terrain response function. Even though it is a bit stiff, you still have that slight body roll before it settles when you go over. For example, now there's a slight body roll like in more luxurious cars. So you have that stiffness but also that softness that I really like. Having driven this on some more twisty roads and using those 400 horsepower, the power delivery is extremely linear, and the torque is what surprises you the most. I think this is one of the better products from JLA. They are different compared to their siblings, but still close enough. Take all the good parts from them. So the infotainment system is the same as in the Land Rover Defender, and some of the buttons on the steering wheel, the panels behind the steering wheel, the indicator stalks. Driving aids, as with most of the JLA products, is so-and-so. Active cruise control, which is also an option, works fine when we're driving like this, but if I want to pass, it won't go into higher speed unless I'm completely into next lane. The lane assist is also more or less non-existent, so we have a lane here, so let's try to go out. Nothing really happens. So the same is in the Land Rover Defender and other JLA products. It is more of a suggestion than actually trying to keep you within the lines. Are there any major faults for this car? Well, I think it is the electric range. The claimed electric range is just about 50 kilometers. And in real world, I think it will be 40 and upwards. And of course, you want to charge it, and I don't have a charging box at home. If you don't have a charging box at home, you need to plan to charge this. And since you don't have a class leading range, it means that you barely can go to work and back. My daily commute one way to work is 40 kilometers, which means that the battery will last only one way. But the car in itself, I really like it. The power delivery, smooth, quiet, but responsive. I like that you can change the gear, nicely insulated. There's not that much wind noise. A really nice product from Jaguar, and one of the best models that JLA is offering right now. I really like it. The base price is 85, about that, and this is spec to about 95,000 euros. So it's definitely on the more expensive side for this size and this range. To conclude, the Jaguar F-Pace P400e plug-in hybrid with a starting price of 95,000 euros is definitely one of the more expensive ones on the market. You get a no class leading range, but you get a fast charging speed, but you get a battery that takes up a lot of rear luggage. And if these things are deal breakers to you, then look away. There are better options for that. But if you look away from these and you look at the Britishness of it, the uniqueness, but still competitive aspects of being a nice looking vehicle, a nice interior, a nice driving experience, definitely a car that you should consider if you want something a bit more upscale and not that German.